Today marks exactly 10 years since one of Ghana's darkest days, the June 3rd disaster, right here at Kwame Nkrumah Circle. So what you can see behind me is the GCB building. Right beside it was the filling station. There were other buildings. What I gathered here today is that this building you see right behind me is a building that they just recently put up. So the heavy rains that day caused a severe disaster. A lot of people might have closed from work around that time. Some were seeking for shelter and all that. At the filling station, the place that is barricaded, there was a sudden explosion, claiming more than 150 lives that day. Then what we can also recall is that more than 150 people were also injured, and some, around that same number, sustained major injuries. Now, a decade later, the scars still remain. Victims still seek justice. Families who lost their loved ones are still grieving because today marks exactly 10 years since this disaster happened. Most of them were waiting for their loved ones just to get back from work, some back from school, some wherever place that they went to just to get home safely. But unfortunately, they didn't make it.
Kofi Daniel, a survivor of the tragic flood and fire disaster that happened 10 years ago, shares what he saw, felt, and what he will never forget.
10 years ago, na me wɔ hanom day from morning to evening. Na me wɔ DCB eye clear.
I was here 10 years ago, from morning till evening, and I witnessed everything. It was both rain and fire that clashed that day. The rain started in the morning and continued throughout the entire day, making things worse by the evening. I was at the filling station in the evening. Some carpets that were being sold there were being swept away by the rain, so I helped pack them inside. That's how I ended up moving from the filling station to the roadside. My friend and I started helping with removing the carpet, but I could swim, but he couldn't. The water was dragging and pulling him, so I had to swim over and rescue him. I took him to the church. You can see here, it used to be a pub called Paceman, and then I returned. If you look at me and check my height, the water was up to my chest. As for you, judging by your height, you would have been completely submerged. As time passed, the rain got heavier, and I became stuck at the pub. As for what caused the fire, I'm not sure. Some people say it was someone smoking or striking a match, but I don't agree. My friend Achu and I helped a woman who was trapped at the flood. While we were pulling her out, we heard a loud thunderclap, and suddenly we were all submerged. Then the fire swept right over us. The entire area was flooded. You could literally feel your body burning as you moved through the fire. When we finally came out of the water, we saw several places on fire. That's when I remembered I had parked my car nearby, but it was too late. I still don't believe someone was smoking or used a matchbox to cause fire.
Yeah, na me di ontro. Me hu de ye na ye nipa miensa nyeru ansuo na se. Ti jana fire so. A flood ha nyina from ha nyina ko echi onom tu. Tese circle nyina ayema. What na unse na petrol no. Unse nso na wura fa ma petrol no epie. Nti na onam nsuo nim kwa na ho ehyehyɛ. Today, yes, ye get na 10 na ne pies ana ye run so na so no. The mirror say Jana fire so say ye yet na say Jana atra na ebo modi ade lady no. E ko it sara became say me car esi anam. By the way na Jana tie no. I mean to me yahwe biem. Mean to me yahwe. This obi obetena baby beka say a man to be na so Manchester and I be na enom Jordan that time nipo obi eno obetumi aka se na obetumi smoke e se na de bia frade nti obi eno aka to obetumi smoke me gina nsuo nim na ten na ne pa ya e pe ja to nsuo nim a ma ja no e spread here.
Has enough changed since then? What is still being done? There's still floods in a crowd. Even right in the main street, we still see floods whenever it rains on a main stretch.
Nsuo no tɔ a still na no hanom ne yie but ɛnte sɛ that last 10 years deɛ.
These days, it still floods when it rains, but not like it did 10 years ago. Now the water usually just reaches my leg level. The gutters are choked. Even though it rained only a little today, just look at the water on the street. The gutters really need to be fixed to prevent another flood.
Choking. Tell them man about the some of gutters no be my idea. Me sure say bibi no no ma e betumi esi saa bi.
Right here is exactly where the incident happened, where the explosion happened. I'm standing at this exact place where more than 100 people lost their lives. So you could still see the devastation after 10 years. You could still see there's still water. This place has been barricaded. It's under protection. No one is allowed to enter here. We had to beg the security to allow us to enter to have an idea of what actually transpired here 10 years ago. So that is where I presume the pumps should be. And the land, you can see that when it rained earlier today. So when it rains, the place gets flooded. So this is where the explosion happened, and you can see closer to the GCB building, it went up and it also affected the building up there, and the other buildings, as I said earlier, how it also affected them on the other side. It's more being done to make sure that these issues or these disasters doesn't happen again. 10 years on, share with us your thoughts on the journey so far.